Your comfort zone is killing you. That might be a little dramatic. Your comfort zone is keeping you limited. It's a little invisible box that you're in. I know how it is. Everybody that is a human being experiences this to a certain degree at some point in their life. You try to do something new, or you want to do something new, or you want to change your life or change a habit, or expand your social network, or try a new class or something, and the ego kicks in and says, that's not safe. You're going to be rejected. You're going to fail. Go back to comfort. You're not stuck. You're addicted to comfort. Netflix and honey buns. Staying at home, Netflix and chill, scrolling on social media. If you want to expand your comfort zone and go beyond where you're at and grow and evolve and live life to the fullest, then we're going to have to talk about the comfort zone, because the comfort zone is like an invisible box that you're in. And every time you bump up against the sides of it, it's like, ew, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel good. You get a little nervous, you start sweating, your ego's like, get back to safety quick. You want to work out, you want to sign up for a class, you want to talk to a potential mate, the guy or girl of your dreams that you're always, and you just can't, because it's a muscle that you got to work on. Just like in the gym, it's a muscle that you got to work on to get outside your comfort zone. In recovery, they say, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That is exactly what we're talking about here, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I've worked on this for years. I used to be the guy that was super sweaty and nervous and fumbling over his words in interviews. And even though I knew what they were talking about, I just had this mental block, and I would just go blank, and I would just stare at them. They're asking me questions about things that I obviously know a lot about, and I just couldn't answer them. Yeah, I've had to work on getting out of my comfort zone a lot. And in my recovery from trauma, from drugs and alcohol, from toxic relationships, divorce, all kinds of things, in my recovery of going outside of my comfort zone, is I just make it a game, usually, like a mission. I started doing missions years ago. It's like, you're going to go in here and you're going to, order club soda, and you're going to talk to one person, and then you can leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, just little things like that. You're going to wear something weird out in public, because this is about getting over people pleasing. This is about getting over external validation. This is about getting over insecurities. And really, it's about coming home to yourself. It's about being your own best friend. Uh, yeah, I had to learn how to be my own best friend, and there's another video that I have about loneliness, and I talk about that, about being your own best friend. Because when you go out in public, or you sign up for the new class or something, and you show up, what's the worst thing that could happen? You have an awkward interaction. Start sweating bullets, pee your pants, and run out screaming. I don't think that's going to happen, but even if it did, let's be okay with everything. Okay, this goes along the lines of not being triggered as well. Being triggerless, about not being able to be triggered. This is along the same lines. It's about loving yourself and being okay in your own skin. And that is not something that I could say that I have done my whole life. I shouldn't say that all the time. There was some ego-driven overconfidence, false pride stuff that mimicked being okay with myself. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about truly, authentically being okay with yourself on the inside. So what can you get if you get outside your comfort zone? It's freedom, okay? On the other side of fear is freedom. On the other side of fear is everything that you've ever wanted. One way to look at this is you could change how you look at discomfort, or the nervousness, or the anxiety, when you get out of your comfort zone. Think about the day before a vacation. You're kind of excited, and you got little butterflies, and you're kind of nervous, but it's a really awesome feeling. It's actually kind of the same feeling, except for we process it differently in our brain. We have the same emotions coming up, the butterflies, the sweatiness, the excitedness, they're really the same kind of feeling as being excited, as being nervous about getting out of your comfort zone. It could be reframed as exhilarating and excitement. So you can try that. The other thing you can do is you can use the energy of being stuck. If you're sick of your own shit, if you keep on going around the merry-go-round, running on the hamster wheel, doing the same thing every day, but you want to do better, but you're too scared to get outside your comfort zone, just get super sick of your own shit and use that as fuel to bust out of the invisible comfort zone box. Do something little outside of the norm. Say hi to a stranger if that's something that you don't normally do. Strike up a conversation with people wherever you're at, trying to get, break through the social bubble of nervousness and awkwardness. Then you can move on to larger, signing up for a class, or maybe you want to start a business, or like a brick and mortar business. Get out of your comfort zone, start calling people, setting up appointments, go tour a building that you or an office location. Like, do these things and go on these missions, and always be working on yourself, and working on your inside, and asking yourself questions like, why does this make me nervous? Why am I scared to call this person? Why am I scared to go there? One reflex that I've developed in my mind is, if I'm avoiding a social situation, I do a little bit of asking myself, why are you avoiding this? Is it because of the people there, or is it because of something that you're scared of? Or something that you don't want to get out of your comfort zone about? And if it's the latter, then I go anyways, and 9 times out of 10, I have a great time, and every time I've done that, it builds that muscle of getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And when you continue to expand your comfort zone, your invisible box, out and out and out, you pretty soon your box is as big as your city. You can go anywhere and do anything. And that's what I'm talking about, that kind of freedom. And that gives you the freedom to be authentic too in everything that you're doing. Be one person, not one person to this group and another person to this group, and you go here and you talk to them, and now you're a different person, and you got to be this chameleon everywhere. That's some people pleaser, codependency, external validation, insecurity kind of stuff. And I'm talking about this from experience. I did this for many years. I grew up doing this my whole life, looking for outside validation and acceptance. And I've worked these last years on flipping that to being okay with myself. Be your own best friend. So just pick one thing that scares you and go out and do it. A little thing, a little nervous thing. I like the example about talking to somebody in public that you don't know. Ask them a question, assume something about them and comment about them, or compliment them on something. You can either evolve or repeat, and you can stay on the hamster wheel, and you can live in Groundhog's Day every day. But I hope you don't, and I love you. See you in the next video. I don't think I took a breath during that whole freaking thing, and welcome to my house. This is a different setup that I'm trying, and this is my plant forest behind me. Say hello. Namaste.